let's all keep it 100% here. I think this is another year where Borussia Dortmund has let down all their fans, even the non-fans onlooking, wanting them to do well. I think they have let them down once again. They have let me down. I didn't even predict them to get this far, but since they did, they were doing well. Maybe they could have shocked us all and got to the quarters, but they have been knocked out by PSG, who came back after 2-1 loss on the road to defeat Dortmund 2-0 in front of an empty stadium in Paris. So shout outs to PSG, man. Shout outs to PSG. Everyone thinks that, not that everyone think that, they are perennial flops in the Champions League. This club was basically funded to win the Champions League. All the money pushed in. Neymar and Mbappe costing a whopping 400 million euros combined. The club was put together to win the Champions League. And this is actually their best chance. I think this is their best chance to do so. Last 8, this is their best chance. Despite the Champions League and the Europa League coming to an abrupt end because of the pandemic going around right now, I think PSG's best chance is this year. We don't know if the Champions League and the Europa League are going to resume, but let's all assume that things are going to get back to normal eventually, and the Champions League is going to continue and it's going to be completed. So we can't not assume that. We have to. If we sit back and do nothing and think like, okay, it's the end of it, like the season is done, what fun is there in that? That's not fun at all. We just can't, like, what are we supposed to talk about these things? So if you're sitting there and you're wondering why I'm doing this video and the Champions League is suspended, I still have to talk about these things because I am yet to do so. So PSG 2, Borussia Dortmund 0, PSG winning 3-2 on aggregate. They move on to the quarterfinals to join Atalanta, Athletic Madrid, and, of course, RB Leipzig. As I mentioned earlier, I never predicted Borussia Dortmund to even get out their group. But they did so in a group which had Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Slavia Praha. Quite impressive if you ask me. 10 points with 3 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. 3 points ahead of third place Inter Milan, who was relegated to the Europa League. Not bad at all, not bad. Drawn in the round of 16 against a misfiring PSG, who are very mercurial if you ask me. Seriously, very mercurial. And I'm talking about in the Champions League. This is a team that recently drew 4-4 against Amiens, a team way down at the bottom of the table. So when I say misfiring, mercurial, that's exactly what I mean. Despite them having a relatively good season in the Champions League, in the group phase, guys, come on. We know PSG. We know what they're all about. Round of 16, out. Quarterfinals, out. This team, perennial flops, basically. But this could be their year. If the competition resumes, of course. But Borussia Dortmund, they're currently second in the German Bundesliga behind, come on guys, Bayern Munich. 4 points behind Bayern Munich, 25 matches played. They have 9 games left in their season, and the German Bundesliga is also suspended. So, guys, we all waiting for everything to get back to normal. It's announced that all football is going to take, let's say, a 3-week break and get started again, started again early April. But I don't think that's going to happen, guys. So, listen, man. I'm just going to talk about the game that's done already and stop actually thinking about what's to come. I'm just going to talk about the game that's done. But Borussia Dortmund not doing too bad. Well, they're actually doing pretty good, pretty damn good in the Bundesliga. And up until they met PSG they were doing quite well in the Champions League, where they won the home leg 2-1. Should not have allowed PSG to get that away goal, but they still picked up the win, courtesy of a brace by Erling Braut Haaland. Neymar Jr. was the scorer for PSG. All that Lucien Favre's men needed to do was to travel to Paris in front of an empty stadium and do the business. A 0-0 draw would have done it, a 1-1 draw would have done it, just score a goal. They failed to do so. They did not show up on the day. Seriously, they failed to show up on that day. And not like they weren't in good form. Before that game against PSG, they had a 2-1 win over Mönchengladbach, a 1-0 win over Freiburg, a 2-0 win over Werder Bremen, and the 2-1 win over PSG. Before that, a 4-0 win over Eintracht, a 4-3 loss to Bayer Leverkusen. I did watch that game. That was quite exciting. A 3-2 loss against Werder in the DFB Cup, 5-0 win against Union Berlin, 5-1 win against Cologne, 5-3 win against Augsburg, and you're telling me you couldn't score one against PSG? Not even one. They hardly threatened. They hardly threatened in this game. The star-studded PSG, who are currently under the tutelage of former Borussia Dortmund manager Thomas Tuchel, are high-flying right now in Ligue 1, currently top of the league, 12 points I think ahead of Marseille. So whenever Ligue 1 resumes, PSG are going to go on to win it. And yeah guys, Ligue 1 also suspended until further notice. Champions League group phase, PSG did the business. 5 wins, 1 draw, 16 points in the group ahead of Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and Galatasaray. On to the round of 16 to face a very informed Borussia Dortmund, who a lot of people had high expectations of. And most people did not expect PSG to overturn that 2-1 deficit in the first leg. They didn't. PSG proved them all wrong. I did predict PSG to win the tie. Even though they lost the first leg, I still stuck to my prediction when I spoke about the second leg. I was like, listen, I'm not going to be all wobbly and make a U-turn on this one, because I did make a U-turn on a prediction earlier, the Tottenham Leipzig, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to stick with the PSG one, and I was correct. Before coming into this match, PSG had a 5-1 win over Lyon in the French Cup semi-final, a 4-0 win over Dijon, a 4-3 win over Bordeaux, the loss against Dortmund in the first leg, 4-4 draw against Amiens, the 6-1 win in the French Cup quarterfinal against Dijon, 4-2 over Lyon, 2-1 over Nantes, 5-0 over Montpellier. I'm telling you, they have little to no competition in the French league, and I think that's what's been hurting their chances over the years when they meet more competitive teams in Champions League competitions. So this time around, PSG said, listen man, listen, we need to turn things around. This team that we have is way too star-studded. We have too many big players in our team to be going out so early every single year. And they did the business. 2-0. Neymar Jr. with the first goal, Juan Bernat with the second. First goal, Neymar with the flying header, Juan Bernat, very scrappy goal there, poor defending by Borussia Dortmund. Very poor on the day. And when Neymar scored, him and PSG imitated Erling Haaland with his celebration. And when the second goal was scored, they did so as well, celebrated as a team. And even in the dressing room, they mocked the young Norwegian striker from Borussia Dortmund. And it was kind of harsh, to be honest, but you have to see the humor in it, because there was a picture going around that Erling Haaland was saying that Paris is his. Rumors are saying that it might have been a fake pic, but it circulated, and Neymar, Mbappe and co took it serious, and they mimicked him, they trolled him. They trolled him, And when the PSG team did that, Erling Haaland needed to pop up in the second half and hush them. Failed to do so. These guys were absent on the day. You're talking about a team that had Sancho, Haaland, Hazard, Guerrero, Witsel, Chan, Hakimi, Zagadou, Hummels, Piszczek, Berkey. This team has been destroying other teams all season, and they were just absent on the day against PSG. Guts off the bench, Julian Brandt and Giovanni Reina. Stats in this game, guys. Dortmund, 11 shots at goal, 2 on target. But those 11 shots, guys, they weren't clear-cut opportunities at all. PSG, 8 shots at goal, 4 on target, 2 in the back of the net. Dortmund had most of the possession, but they failed to do anything significant with it. PSG, their lineup in this game, star-studded, Navas, Marquinhos, Kimpembe at the back, missing their captain Thiago Silva. Kehrer right back for the suspended Mounier. Juan Bernat replacing Livin Kurzawa in this game. Paredes filling in the middle for the suspended Verratti. PSG, their squad is deep, but the main players, they were absent, and maybe it was a blessing in disguise for the Parisians. They had Idrissa Gueye, who moved from Everton, and he's been having a great season over there. Di Maria, Neymar, Edinson Cavani, and Pablo Sarabia. Very, very good lineup. Very, very good lineup chosen by Thomas Tuchel. Very, very top-heavy lineup. Very, very attacking-minded setup as well. We had Kylian Mbappe coming off the bench. He had some symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and he didn't start the game. Livin Kurzawa came off the bench, as well as the youngster Tanguy Kouassi. Like, Thomas Tuchel even threw on Kouassi. He had Draxler on the bench, Icardi, Abdou Diallo, and he said, you know what, Kouassi, go on, have a run out, have some fun. So this is a big win for PSG, and it's a big deal, but we need the Champions League to resume. We need it to resume. In the last 8, I think they would be ready for anybody. Atalanta is there, Red Bull Leipzig is there, Atletico Madrid is there. If PSG draw a team like Leipzig or Atalanta, they would fancy their chances to go on to the semis. The other 4 ties have been postponed, so we are still waiting on the other 4 quarterfinalists. But right now, Lyon has the advantage over Juventus. But I have a feeling Juventus are going to overturn that one. Man City against Real Madrid. We have to maintain the advantage and go on to the quarters. If we meet PSG, I think we can handle PSG. I definitely think we can handle PSG. This break is also allowing time for players to regain full fitness. Hopefully the damn thing resumes, man. Hopefully it resumes. Napoli, Barcelona, that one is poised 1-1 right about now. Barcelona with the away goal. And the Chelsea Bayern has the advantage. I would like to see a PSG Bayern in the quarterfinals. That would be exciting. Or PSG Barcelona again. That was a video that started my channel 3 years ago. Around the same time, like now. 3 years ago. That was one exciting comeback. 6-1. Could never ever forget that game. But this year could be PSG's best chance to go on to win the Champions League. A trophy that they have been craving for some time. They have invested heavily to win this European competition. But guys, this is just my thoughts on the PSG Dortmund match. I had to just wrap up those 4 ties. We have some time before we talk about the rest, if we even are gonna get a chance to talk about the rest, because Champions League is suspended right now. Europa League suspended. All the leagues suspended. So I have to talk about the matches that are gone. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Go check out the other 4 ties. I spoke about the Atalanta Valencia. I spoke about the Liverpool Atletico Madrid, and I did talk about the Leipzig Spurs clash. So this is a wrap. I feel good. I feel very, very good that I've taken the time to talk about most things concerned with these ties. A very, very in-depth analysis of all 4 ties. Who else you see doing this? Who else you see giving you all this fire? You're welcome. But guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Thank you very much for your continued support on the channel as we await the verdict for what's going to happen to the rest of the season. Let's just enjoy a period, a break from football. We're still going to talk about it, but the matches, we all need a break. We all needed the break. Seriously, we all needed the break. But if you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button. Smash the thumbs up button. Let me know if you think PSG can definitely go on to win the Champions League if and when it resumes. Guys, visit cardsplug.com/dominicrichfc to get yourself one of those lovely cards over there on the wall. Use the coupon code dominicrichfc to get yourself 20% off your order. There's 80 plus designs to choose from. Just go check out the site. If you haven't yet checked it out, just, go check it out. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for watching the video, guys. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.